Vanessa, thank you so much for being
Thanks for
here.
having
Sorry
me.
about the
No, all
delay. We
good.
had some SD card drama.
Oh, it's good to catch up.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
Although now I'm exhausted from talking and don't know if I can get through a podcast.
We already talked about all the good stuff.
I know when we were talking, I was like, shit, 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 we should stop. No, we'll go back. But I wanted to have you on this podcast called Moms Are People Too.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're not quite a mom yet,
Mm-hmm.
but you're very, very close.
Getting close.
Like on the edge. What are you, 1 month away?
1 month away.
1 month away. And I wanted to kind of bring you in because I feel like you and I have a similar journey of moving from being like perpetually like classically professionally single.
Yeah. Remember when you came into my office that one time and you're like, I read this book. What was that?
Oh my God, Getting to I Do.
Yes.
Honestly, great book.
I bought it after you told me.
I mean, that book introduced me to concepts that I like knew about, but the way that she said it about how like there could only be one masculine and one feminine in a relationship, even if it's a same-sex relationship, and if two people try to be the feminine or try to be the masculine, then they will just like bump and it won't work.
Yeah.
And it really did wake me up to the fact that like I was always in my masculine.
Yeah. Same.
And then I was trying to find masculine guys and they were like, "You're fucking scary."
Yeah. By the way, it's so true.
Yeah.
But it took me a lot of like plant medicine to get to that conclusion after that book. It still needed to be driven home.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about that journey of like going from, because it's funny, I feel like we both almost had to also go through COVID
Yeah.
to like really have that time to like be with ourselves, to slow down and stop moving at that pace. I mean, the society moves at a masculine pace.
Right,
And
right,
if you
right.
want to be successful, you kind of have to do that too, or at
Totally.
least that's what the old programming was.
Yeah.
I do think that we're moving into like a more feminine time where if we just lean into our own rhythm, then we will be successful.
Totally, totally.
But talk to me about kind of like that moment of awareness and how it started to shift for you.
Well, it's funny because I don't
Even though
necessarily
my book didn't like fully give you the awakening that you wanted, and I'm really
it
sorry.
started no, it's just that I needed like real like a push, a real kick in the ass to get
Yeah.
across the finish line.
Yeah.
But I when I think about like how the masculine drives the narrative of like having to go, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle,
Yeah.
women are driving that narrative. Like that's
Yes.
all I see for that period of time was like on Instagram right before the pandemic. And even in the pandemic, it was like these women that are so proud of getting 4 hours of sleep and, doing like just killing themselves,
Hmm.
right? Fine. But I was soaking that in. I'm like, oh my God, since I don't get up at 5 a.m., I'm not going to be as successful and whatnot. So when the pandemic hit, it was actually like very hard for me. I had a lot of like outbursts and breakdowns
Really.
with the person I was dating because I was so used to having like this became my purpose. It was my
Hmm.
work. It became my identity.
Hmm.
And then having to slow down, it was almost like you're on a speeding train and then all of a sudden it just halts you and then you just get so uncomfortable with like being with yourself because you
Hmm.
haven't been with yourself in so long.
Yeah.
So that was a gift to slow down.
I was like, where are the pounds of edibles and boxes of
Yeah.
wine
The
and bath
box.
salts? Not the
Oh,
drug kind.
totally, totally, totally.
Just the ones you laying in the bath.
I was right on that train. Lots and lots and lots of wine, lots of
I was
edibles.
getting boxes of wine delivered to my house from Helen's Wine.
Oh my
My
God.
brother was like, "Your vibe is so tight."
I was like every single night I was like I'm in Italy. I'm
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm
living the
traveling.
year, yeah, in my mind. So I did a lot of that. And then funny enough, my practice picked up majorly.
Interesting. Because you're
So
probably one of the only people who is still
so
working.
open. So
Yeah.
I skyrocketed and I quadrupled my practice. So then that whole
Stop.
slowing thing down just sort of ended. I was right back to where I'd started the masculine. Like I never dealt with that stuff.
Right.
And the person I was dating at the time didn't like it's funny, like he loved that I worked, like he wanted me to work, but he did not love the fact that I was um he didn't love the fact that I was so hyper masculine, right? So
Hmm.
I would come home and I would also be like bossing and that type of thing.
Right.
So, anyways, that relationship
And what was
ended.
his energy like? Did you feel,
He's like a projector. He's like
ugh, I've dated projectors.
he's much slower
I
than I am.
cannot.
I'm a manifest
Me
generator, so I have
too.
way more energy than that.
Me too.
But I didn't understand that about him and accept that about him.
Yeah,
Mm, pregnancy water break.
totally.
So he So yeah, so he was yeah, a lot slower, a lot like just different cadence than me. And I thought yeah, I came off as lazy for me,
Mm-hmm.
like why are you so lazy? But
Yeah.
I didn't really accept like that was his way of being.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, so after that relationship ended, I just kept getting I was getting into relationships like well, actually one more after that where I was the same way, a little bit more hyper masculine, but this guy was like so masculine that it didn't matter how I was.
Mm-hmm.
But where I would be faced with the fact that my masculinity was so much was with his kids. It was the first time that I was dating somebody with kids.
Interesting.
And like stepmom was not a role I could step into. And I have such incredible respect for people that step into situations as a step parent.
Yeah.
Like they are, it takes a lot to be a
Yeah.
really good step parent.
Yeah. I have a friend who's in that right now, and it's like, it's so much work for her.
It's a lot of work. It's a
Yeah.
lot of work. And because of it just basically showed me everything that I had to deal with that I hadn't that I thought I dealt with. I was
Mm.
like, "Oh, I dealt with my childhood stuff. Oh, I dealt with this." But like those kids were just reflecting it back to me, his relationship with his kids, and then my inability to have, a great step parent relation. The kids are great. It's not like we had any issues, but I
Yeah.
was so physically uncomfortable.
Really?
So physically
Like, in what
uncomfortable.
way?
I don't know, I was like fighting being like any type of mom type of thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
anything that made me feel like a mom, I would get like totally skeeved out. It was crazy. That's
Wow.
crazy.
Were you just like, why do you want something from me? Or like the caregiving aspect of it?
It's kind of like, yeah, like that. Like I didn't want to go to like a soccer game. I didn't want to like get involved like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I'm just the visitor,
Yeah.
And I wanted to compartmentalize. I mean, people are gonna think like I'm an awful person, but I'm an only child. This
Whatever,
was
you're
a
being
I know.
honest.
I'm an only child.
And
This
I
was
think
a
I would have the
huge
same thing. I think I'd be like, these aren't my kids. Like, I don't know.
yeah, it was a huge shock to my system. Like his
Yeah.
ex-wife was lovely. She always wanted to invite me to things, like, and I was the problem. I was the
Mm-hmm.
one where I was like, no. And it was terrible. And then I would want a separate relationship with him. So I would compartmentalize. I wanted my relationship with him
Mm-hmm.
and then his relationship with the kids that I would
Mm-hmm.
like dip in and out of, which is for somebody who's a very present dad, like that's clearly not going to work, right? And I
Yeah.
respect him for being a present dad, but it was almost like he also had a hard time figuring out how to make me feel like a priority as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to throw myself into therapy in that, going, okay, I need to like face this stuff, work on the mask and work on what is holding me back, but also have grace for myself that perhaps this isn't a situation that's ideal for me.
Right.
So I stepped out of it. And then after that, I was like, okay, I want to call in my partner, right? Whatever, whoever that is, what my ideal match is.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly, I'm the common denominator. I can't go around blaming people anymore. This is so dumb.
Congrats, you're not a
I
sociopath.
know, right? Or like the victim mentality is
Yeah.
such a thing, and the woe is me, and or just even if it's not blaming your ex-partners, it's blaming your parents or how you were raised or you didn't get this opportunity. It's like enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm so glad you're saying that because I feel like I talk to so many single women that are our age, some of my best friends, and they're still like running that program. And I'm like, okay, you can run this program till you're literally 90 years old, but that's going to get you nowhere. You have to figure out and take inventory and take radical responsibility for how you're participating and who you're going after and how you're doing it. Whatever that looks like for you, whatever therapies or medicines or anything that you have to do, even if it's just journaling and being like, talk to yourself like you're talking to a friend.
yeah,
Be objective because otherwise you're just creating the situation that you don't want to be in like all the time.
all the
But that's
time.
really hard for people to hear.
Yeah, and also if they're so stuck in their like anger, some people like they're like, take my pain away, take my anger away, don't take it away. It's like their identity and they don't
Right.
realize it. So even like those people that are journaling, but they're giving advice to their friends, it's negative advice, meaning like they're like, oh yeah, that guy's a real asshole, rather than
Right.
going like, well, what did you do? Or why are you attracting assholes? You know what I mean? Why aren't we also looking at ourselves
Yeah.
and taking inventory? It's just
Hmm.
we need somebody else to blame all the time.
And I read this great article the other day, which really just put to words everything that I've been feeling about the way that our culture like pathologizes everything. And it's like, instead of taking responsibility and looking at ourselves, instead we're diagnosing other people and what's wrong with them. Everyone's a narcissist, everyone's a
Yep.
sociopath, everyone's anxious attached. It's like, dude, like Okay, cool. You have therapy speak, but where is that getting you?
Exactly. By the way, narcissism, like that and gaslit is
Hmm.
thrown around like it's
It's
crazy.
insane.
No, you can have like narcissistic tendencies. Doesn't make everyone a
We're all, by
narcissist.
the way, have narcissistic tendencies
Totally.
because we all are trying to take care of ourselves.
Uh, I film myself on Instagram half the day, like, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But that's why it's like so insane. So yeah, I was like, I need to just, I'm not blaming anyone else anymore. I want to take
That's
responsibility.
great.
So I did whatever. I found like two amazing professionals. I went really, in on the work, which I thought I had done, but there's so many other layers to
Hmm.
uncover. And
Hmm.
at the same time too, it's also having the awareness to understand too that I don't always have to be looking for a problem within myself.
I told you that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, you did. But at the same time, it's like I knew clearly by evidence, I'm looking at the evidence of my life. I'm not where I would love to be. Like,
Hmm.
and I know I can feel that ickiness come up in me, even with like friends or social situations where it's like, I'm not vibrating at the frequency that I want to be vibrating at. Like, this
Hmm.
is a shitty frequency. It's only going to magnetize situations that aren't ideal for me.
Yeah.
So I started doing that work. And then when my now fiance came along, I was still in my masculine, but would have this conversation with some guy friends of his that knew me. And he's like, I really can't put my finger on Vanessa. Like I feel like there's something there, but she has this like wall up. She's tough.
Hmm.
And then one of his guy friends was like, I've known Vanessa for a really long time. I'm also attracted to women like that because they're attracted to women that like, have their thing going on and whatever it is.
My friend Benji said it best. He was like, guys want to know that like if push comes to shove, you'll like strap your baby on your back and like barefoot it through the woods and like not be weak and die.
Yeah,
And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's true. But at the same time, they also need to be the ones to like carry something.
for sure. But they also want somebody to like be loving and nurturing.
Yeah.
And so when I was like, like don't fuck with me vibes.
Yeah.
Like date me, but don't fuck with me. Like, what is that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
See me, but don't see me.
yeah. And so that's what I was doing. And his friend was like, I think just Vanessa, it's like a response to her conditioning and she can shift, like it will shift.
Yeah. Well, that's a really
So
sweet friend.
I know. So he was like patient.
Yeah.
I was still unsure because there was like a veil of my toughness and I was unsure that this was like the guy I was really into.
Also, we're conditioned to feel like that the guy that's meant for us will just like break all of our defenses and
Yeah,
everything will just be perfect. And like I feel like I used to think like I'm gonna be in love and then all my problems will be solved. And it's like,
totally.
no, bitch, it just gives you more problems.
But then we also fall in love. I mean, I know you have in the past, but I have too, like with guys who give you that anxious butterfly feeling, but that's
Yes.
just anxiety.
Yeah,
Like butterflies are not always the jam because that
totally.
could just be a sign of like this
They're
is
not
not, yeah,
available
they're
and
not
you're
available.
chasing them and you know that.
Yeah,
And that's what you think like love and infatuation is. But in fact,
totally.
it's like a sick cycle of daddy
Yeah.
issues.
So when somebody who's like more stable shows up or who's just present and willing to
Just
be
likes you.
there and likes you, you're kind of like, ew.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then we started dating and it wasn't until I had this ayahuasca trip planned. I've never done ayahuasca before. In my mind, like I'd done mushrooms. I thought like, you know, oh, whatever. I'm just gonna go to the jungle and take some drugs. Who cares? No big
Yeah.
deal. And I went with a friend and she had been before and she was like panicking when we got there. And I was like, what is your problem? Like you're spinning out. Like this is not a big deal. She's just like looking at me like you don't
You
even
have no
know
idea.
what you're in for.
Yeah.
And she was right. I got my ass handed to me majorly. But the whole thing was about how I don't let love in, that I think I've been in love. I'm playing the game of vulnerability. I'm not actually truly vulnerable. And if someone were
Wow.
to like drop down like a box of love in front of me, I would like look at it dumbfounded, like, what do I do with this? Even though I
Wow.
wanted so bad, but it was just showing me how I was in the way and also how over the course of my life, I basically disrespect the masculine. Like I started to think that they were all pansies, all or assholes or whatever it
And was that the
was.
programming from your mom?
Programming from my mom, not growing up with a father figure or stable man. My mom thinks all men are she really like talks down on men,
Mhm.
not like they're the enemy, but just like, oh, they can't do anything.
Mhm.
So I kind of had
And she's been
developed that.
single.
She's still single,
Yeah.
yeah, my whole life.
Yeah.
So it showed me that there is actually power in submission to the
Mhm.
masculine
Mhm.
and like fully submersing in the feminine.
Yeah.
And letting go and being soft. Being soft is like has incredible power.
Mhm.
And so after that whole thing and the intensity of it took the medicine to get me there. And after that experience, it just sort of like cracked me open. I came out of it. I was so raw, but I was like really ready to see my partner for the first time
Yeah.
who had been there the whole time.
Right.
And I ended up like apologizing to him, but because he's like so lovely and Canadian, he is very understanding, but he's like, I know, and
Yeah.
I've known this the whole time, and like, just what I'm so glad you came around to it,
Yeah.
but
So
also
you
don't
guys
beat
were
yourself up.
dating.
We were dating, but like it was very new. It was like 3 months in,
Right.
and I was still like on the fence. And then it wasn't until I went and I was like, oh my God, I'm literally gonna mess up the greatest thing that's ever happened to me if
Mhm.
I don't just get the fuck out of my own way.
Yeah.
So I think just like embracing that. And then I found so much power in embracing the feminine. I still fight myself.
Me
Like
too.
we started dating, I would play this competitive game with him where every time he had some big work breakthrough or opportunity, I would become like bitchy and irritable and like cold and distant, shut down
Mm.
because I didn't feel like my career was like having the same momentum.
Wow.
Like I was competing with him. And
I
it
feel like
was,
that's really common.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
And so that was like stuff I had to face. And really, I've dealt with a lot of it, kept working on myself, did like Hoffman, all that sort of stuff, just to try and like, because it's just me fighting myself. No one else is fighting me. I'm creating my suffering constantly.
Mhm.
So I would get these opportunities to just, oh, this is interesting. I don't want to feel this way anymore. So how can I shift my internal life? Because it's not, I have no one to blame, and the external world isn't out for me. I'm out for myself.
Mhm.
So once I started to shift that, and then the getting pregnant and, stepping into motherhood, I found that like the second trimester was also another big point of, because your body is changing and you're finally starting to show, you're starting to feel what it's like to actually be pregnant. You get confused. You're like, wait, where am I working more? Should I start a new project? Should I do this?
Second trimester is literally like, I should start 27 new projects.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
insane.
because almost, but for me, and I know it's different for some women do that, but for me, it was a symbolic of me fighting of me changing and
Mhm.
softening, like really surrendering. I was like, I will not surrender, but I was just causing my own suffering, more anxiety, more of that. And then
You're in for a doozy
I
with
know, I
postpartum.
know.
Oh, it's gonna
Then
get
the
really
then
real.
the third trimester hit me like cement, where I was like much slower,
Mhm.
got sciatica, had to really, and then I don't know what happened, just overnight. I just was like, fuck it. Fuck it. If I feel like napping, I'm gonna nap.
You
If
have
I feel
to.
like doing nothing, I'm gonna do nothing. And I just surrendered. And I was like, some great wave of peace came over me where I
Mm.
was like, because I stopped trying to control and fight and like grip onto things, everything became like, my relationship with my partner became like moved up to like the next level.
Mm.
Like work became more enjoyable almost, even though I wasn't trying to like go, 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 do. I was much more present,
Yeah.
much more patient with myself and with others.
Mm.
And then that's when I realized like, oh wow, like just because you like slow down or you stop being so in your masculine doesn't mean that you're going to like lose everything. In fact, there's so much to gain
Yeah.
from it.
Yeah. It's funny, I kind of need to hear this right now because even though I'm on my second pregnancy, I'm kind of going through another version of this because I mean, postpartum is its own. That's why I was kind of laughing because the transformation and surrender that you're walking into next,
It's crazy.
you cannot conceive of it
Right.
at all. Like
Right.
I truly like I wanted to have you on when you're pregnant too because I want to do like another part with you like in 6 months where like we talk about everything that you thought it was going to be like
Right.
versus like everything that it is like because
Totally.
it's just it's just nothing like you've ever experienced before. But there is so much beauty in that process of allowing yourself to hit another level of transformation
Hmm.
and release and surrender. But where I'm at is I kind of came back through that. I was like feeling really close to being on the other side of my postpartum. And now I'm right back to where I started, and I'm having to reel and surrender to like coming back into my ultimate feminine purpose. I
Mm,
mean, to have a child is literally the female's like role in just like science.
right.
So we do this, they don't do this, and that is really the biggest delineation between the sexes.
Totally.
And so for me, like I was ramping up, getting back into my like masculine version of work and like really excited, but feeling like I was balancing it with Asher and with my partner and all these things. And now I'm like, no, like, no. And I was feeling sexy. And like, there's something about feeling sexy that is also like oddly masculine in a weird way because it's like powerful,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, and we don't even have to label them as masculine and feminine. It was just like a certain power that I was feeling coming back.
Mm,
And this is now, again, a surrendering and a softness and allowance and needing to be like, yeah, I have to nap. I have to just care for myself in a
yeah.
different way. And it's just a challenge again
I
because
was thinking about that on the way over here to ask you because, like, in my head, if I'm going to go for two, I kind of just want to do it back to back
yeah, which
and
I think
then be
everyone says is the
done.
best thing to do.
But in my head too, like there's another part of me that's like, ooh, after the baby's born, I have some ideas, like some
Oh,
stuff to start doing. And then I
oh
was
yeah.
thinking like, oh, wait a minute. But then if I get pregnant again, what if, I don't, it's such a, we can't expect how we're going to feel pregnant or even like becoming a mom of one or two or whatever. You just don't know how things could change. Plus
Yeah.
we're women, we change.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about you and I was like, oh, like I wonder how she's navigating this
It's hard.
because I was watching you just as you were coming into momhood and then you were getting stable with momhood and then your career, you were just like ready.
I
Like,
was ready.
yeah.
I was like about like I was gonna do a totally different podcast than this. And I just was feeling like so in my zone. And then I got pregnant and I'm like, I have to focus everything on just like mom
Yeah.
right now. And it's also, I think it's kind of auspicious with like Jupiter being in Cancer as well, because that's just like the focus on family. And like with my Cancer moon, I think it just like it makes more sense to
Yeah.
just like go
We're
in this
both Cancer
direction.
moon.
Wah. But you're gonna be a very like when you were saying that you needed this night nurse and everything because you want guidance, like I think you're gonna be really surprised at how instinctual it actually is
Right,
and
right.
like how you will have questions, but like not as many as you think.
That's what people tell me, like that's the case. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see, but because right now I just feel like a fish out of water. I'm like, what
And I
is
realized when Asher was born that I'd never held a newborn before. So I was like, what is this floppy
Yeah,
thing? Like I was so scared to like drop him.
totally.
Like I once pulled him out of his like baby Bjorn, his little like legs got stuck, and I was like, I started crying. I'm like, I think I broke
Yeah,
him. And my best friend was there, and she was like, "Are you okay? Like this is like not your personality, but it's just because I was learning. I didn't know
that's what I'm
anything.
scared of. I'm scared of like I'm gonna be holding the baby and then I'm gonna have some weird flash that I just dropped the baby, but I didn't.
I would have so many flashes like that.
Yeah.
Like the intrusive thoughts of me doing things like that were so
I get them
overpowering.
sometimes when I'm driving and I go on autopilot and I let my mind drift. It's not good.
Yeah, it's like spooky.
Yeah.
It's gonna ramp up for sure. But then you kind of settle into it.
Right.
And then it just becomes like, oh, I didn't it's crazy. I didn't know that I had this in me. And I think that's the coolest part about becoming a mom and giving birth, having a baby is like I always would joke like I had my period for like 20 years and I didn't even really know what my body was doing.
Mm.
And then I got pregnant, had a baby. I'm like, oh, like
So true.
this is what I've been this whole time. Like I had
Yeah.
no idea.
I didn't know actually what that was so funny because I coach women throughout pregnancy, pre, during, post, and it's through just like nutrition and stuff like that. And like, I know what their organs are doing, but I actually don't know. I didn't know what was anatomically happening to the body
Yeah.
until I went through like a course with my doula on hypnobirthing. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know what actually happens when you're giving birth. I didn't even know where your organs go when you're
Me
giving.
either. I never
It's
thought about
crazy.
it.
And me neither.
Isn't that really crazy?
It's crazy.
That is the sign of really living in a masculine
Yeah.
society. And that's also really why I wanted to do this podcast because something that I really realized is that there is such there is such little support for what happens even during pregnancy. But then once you have the baby, you have to be so well off to be able or have an incredible family around you, which is so rare nowadays. Like we don't
That's
live
weird.
intergenerationally. We've all moved to
Yeah.
different places. And I'm sure there's some people who still live like near their parents and grandparents, or if their grandparents are still alive, but we just don't have that, like what my dad had when he was growing up, which is that like three generations were just like on the same
On the
block,
same block, yeah.
and that's how it was. And that's not that long ago.
Right.
And I really wanted to start this conversation for myself and my friends. And I feel like the people that follow me who are also transitioning into from being like the wellness explorers of their 20s and 30s and needing to kind of transition that into motherhood. But then what do you do when you have the baby? Like there's just such a lack of, it's not like resources, because like there's so much information, but information doesn't help you when you're like exhausted at 3 a.m. and
Yeah.
there's no one for you. And then you're like, what am I going to do for money? How am I going to get through this? Who do I ask for support? I'm not used to asking for support. Like it's just this world where you realize that like our society really does not give a shit about moms.
Right.
And that just makes me crazy, because I feel like all I hear about is like abortion and pro-life.
Mm.
And I'm like, where's the conversation of like, but what do we really do for like moms?
Yeah,
How
it's
do we really
true.
support them, and how do we really help get these kids like feeling super loved, safe attachment, like spending time with their family? Like I feel like every woman should have a year of maternity leave.
I think there's a rise in it for sure with like the amount of books and podcasts and whatever. But at the same time, like I kind of get it because unless you've gone through it,
Right.
like men or even women that haven't,
Yeah.
not that it's any, less than or anything like that, but it's really hard to understand because even before I got pregnant and before I even decided I wanted to have kids,
Yeah.
I'd be in situations with my girlfriends that had kids or were pregnant, and the whole conversation would be about, babies and pregnancy and all that sort of stuff. And I would sit there and I would be like a little bit annoyed, like
Mm,
just kind of like, why am I here? I don't understand this. Or it would just kind of like go over my head, or I would feel zero emotional charge towards it
mm,
whatsoever.
mm-hmm.
Even just women being pregnant, it was so funny. I'm like, yeah, yeah, they're growing a baby inside of them.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
No idea.
Like
And
my
now
friends
that
would
it's
have kids
happening,
and
I'm
I
like,
wouldn't
this is
even
so sci-fi.
Yeah, like Spawn.
So insane.
It's so insane.
Even my fiance is like, sometimes he's like, I honestly, like my sister's had two kids. I've been around a lot of pregnant people. And I was like, oh yeah, they're pregnant. And now he's like, oh my God, pregnancy is crazy. Just from
Mm-hmm.
like feeling the baby and like the whole thing is just blows his mind. Like he even looks at like abortion differently when he saw like how there's actually a heartbeat and he could see something moving.
Yeah.
Especially it was like, I think we did a scan, it was like 10 weeks and it
Mm-hmm.
was like a full being in
Yeah.
there. A tadpole, but with like
Heartbeat
heartbeat
and
little
little
like, yeah.
weird chicken hands.
Yeah. And he was just like, I mean, I could never imagine
Just
like,
like taking that out of you.
yeah,
I know. Have your views of, I feel like my views of like feminism have changed a bit. And also just, I mean, my views of abortion, and I think all my political views have kind of like gone through a weird mix master in the past
yeah,
5 years. But like when I got pregnant this time, Tyler was like, well, we do have a choice. And I'm like, yeah, but it's just not in my soul.
yeah,
I feel like I mean, I want everyone to be able to have that choice if that is what is in their soul. And
hmm,
just the idea of like the government governing people's bodies at all is just like
weird.
a
Yeah.
hard no for me across the board. But for my own self, I used to always think like, yeah, if I got pregnant and I didn't want it, I would just have an abortion. And
Yeah.
now it's like, I don't think I could.
Yeah. It's like,
Although if there was a third, I might.
right. It's funny because it's like not so black and white, right? I
Yeah.
can't go, oh, I'm in this camp or that camp or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What I have started to feel since being pregnant is that, look, I think like when it comes to like rape or drugs or, something like really just an awful situation,
Mm-hmm.
I do believe like choice is so important because sometimes like you're gonna save a life,
Totally.
ahead of time. But then, I know a lot of people who just get abortions like, they're going through the Starbucks drive-through because they're just careless and not responsible. And that has hit me differently.
Mm-hmm.
When like I've heard, and I want to have grace for friends and stuff like that, but it has hit me differently emotionally when I hear stories like that, like just so nonchalant.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they even fully understand
Mm-hmm.
what's happening. It's just sort of like this easy thing to do.
We also
So,
live in a very like head up
yeah,
reality where
yeah,
so many people are really disembodied.
yeah,
And so I think it's easier to do that when you haven't been through so much therapy and done so much work and integrated it so much, because you're not thinking about, I mean, look at what people eat.
Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I mean? Like we eat food as though it's not fueling our body.
Yeah.
Like
If
it's
we could
just
be
a
all
garbage going into nowhere.
totally, if we could all be more embodied and take radical responsibility, the world would be like a much better place.
Yeah.
But that's part of it. That's part of I think the process of like awakening to the fact that we all create our own suffering and then we fear into these narratives that spread like disease and then it just goes from there. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
it's like me and the other rather at the end of the day, like there's so much oneness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that becoming a mom, what I realized after I had Asher was like, oh my God, like everyone is just somebody's baby.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I was like, I love everyone so much. And like, it's so sad how people are living in so much suffering. And I feel like so much of it starts with the very beginning of their life.
Of course. That's why I said it's like important to have choice at the beginning because you could really like Ben and I were walking on the street the other day and there's like this insane meth addict. I mean, clearly they're coming down or just starting on
Hmm.
something like really losing his mind
Yeah.
next level. Like you didn't even want to walk across the street from this guy.
Yeah.
And Ben's like, that was, and he would never have said this before. He was like, that was somebody's baby
Exactly.
once upon a time. Like he came
Exactly.
into this world as like an innocent child that was pure love and there's nothing wrong with this child.
Hmm.
And then this is what has unfolded. And we don't think about that, right? It's important to have emotional empathy and sure some people become awful, murderers and crazy stuff and, of course like we need a system for that. But at the same time, we don't really look and unpack at all the pain that that person like what had to have gone so
So,
bad
you know,
to get
after I
them.
got my Reiki 2 certification, I came from Kelsey Patel. I'm sorry. We can
I'll
cut
cut
that
that out.
out. Anyway, the Reiki was fine. But I remember it was in downtown LA and I got into my car and I was like blasted with like, you know, just like heart open, like Reiki energy. And I got in my car and it's downtown and I'm seeing all the people on the street going through similar things that you're describing and just people were like throwing things at my car. Like I was just like this fucking chaos. But I had this huge realization at that moment where I was like, oh my God, like all these people are living like this because this is what they believe that they deserve.
Yeah.
It's all just an issue of worthiness of love and that core belief system that goes through your whole life. If you have been through like serious trauma or neglect and you've never had the opportunity to really deal with it, then it just spirals out of control to where you are creating darkness and chaos because that is what you think that you deserve because then the outer world is reflecting who you are on the inside.
Oh, for sure. It validates it.
It
Like,
validates
yeah.
it and then it just is this like vicious cycle and like it's like I feel like doing the work that you're describing and awakening of like the feminine principle in all of us is like a seed.
Hmm.
If a bunch of us are doing this and reclaiming it and saying like no, feminism isn't negating your natural instinct to become a mom and saying that's for people who have no ambition and it's actually about embracing your divine feminine, then there's this seed that starts to take place where like moms can be there for their children
Yeah.
and like maybe in like hundreds of years we have a more holistic healed society and people who like live a loving principle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like what I my like biggest hope and dream of people reclaiming this part of their life.
Well, I also see a lot now too. It's more so like not like, oh, I can't have a career, but also there's some women that really know they don't want kids, like great, fully supportive of that. But there are people I know that want them, but what they do instead is a defense mechanism going like, you know, oh, I'm good on my, I don't need it. I don't want it. I'm okay. Like, I don't need a partner, but when someone's saying it from a place of pain and when they're
Mhm.
saying it from a place of power.
Mhm.
And I think when you put that out there, you're again, same thing. You're looking for validation. And then the universe comes back and validates, oh yeah, well, you said you didn't want it. You were
So
okay.
you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really scary to admit, at least it was for me, like I felt like I was so alone for so long and I prioritized my career. I did comedy. I did podcasting. I was like, I'm sexually liberated. Like, I
Yeah.
can fuck everyone. And
Yeah.
like, girl, I did, like I was fucking like doing it. And to me, that felt like empowerment. But what it really was a denial of self and saying, like, no, what I really want is a connection.
Yeah.
But it's so scary to ask for that because what if I don't get it? Then I'll just keep doing the opposite.
Yeah.
And it was really in like 2020 that I had so much time with myself and actually like met a guy living in Topanga who, even though he was like on ketamine and Adderall, was
Oh
insane
my God.
and like was such a like, and he was a dad, which is also questionable, but he was the first person who like kind of didn't just like write me off.
Mm,
It wasn't just like, oh, we had sex and we should never talk again,
right.
or like I'll see you when I see you and then we'll maybe do it again or whatever, which is like what I was just in like a fuckboy spiral for so long.
Right.
And he was like treating me in this way that I was like, oh, like this is actually what I want. And it would give me so much anxiety. Like every time I would see him, I like couldn't speak.
Mm.
And so I was like, oh, the pain of admitting this is what's keeping me from having it.
Oh, totally.
It's just the
Totally.
inner like the vulnerability with yourself
Oh yeah, I couldn't
to
be that vulnerable with
desire it.
myself. Yeah. I would say it all the time. My mom would ask me about dating and I'd be like, you know what? You're just gonna have to come to terms with the fact that I may never meet somebody because I've become comfortable with that. By the way, I was not
No, you
comfortable
were
with that.
sad.
I was a sad girl to the fullest extent. And then
Yeah.
it wasn't until I was like, it's okay. It's okay, Vanessa, to admit that you want this partner and that you're super sad that you don't have this
Yep.
partner and
And just sit with that. Be
yeah,
with
sit
that
with
pain.
that. Yeah.
And because it's like the pain will shift.
Totally,
And I think
totally.
that's the other thing that we need to realize as we do this work is like, it's not a permanent state. Nothing is a permanent state.
No.
And there's nothing that we shouldn't be afraid of ourselves. Because that's certainly a way to never find a partner. Is
100%.
if you're afraid of yourself, if you're afraid to see yourself, how the fuck is somebody else supposed to see you?
But some of us are so don't even realize that we're afraid to see ourselves, you know? We're like,
Hmm.
"Oh, I see myself. I love myself," you know? But it's all up here.
It's
It's
in the
not
brain.
here.
Totally. Even after everything, like I remember I came back. So like at my mom, so I think also like my mom dying was a huge, obviously like heart blast where my entire world just like broke in like an instant and I was all heart. And so that made me like just extra vulnerable and sensitive to the world.
Right,
But
right.
even after that, like I went traveling, I came back to LA and I was like, okay, this is gonna be like I'm just gonna set my space and live my like peace, and then like I'll meet someone is like what I was telling myself. I actually went through a really hard time in Portugal because this psychic told me that my soulmate was in Portugal.
Oh no.
Girl, it was
You gotta be careful with those psychics.
I quit psychics after this.
Yeah. So wait.
Actually, which is so funny because I quit psychics and then recently my friend was like, I met the best psychic. You have to talk to her. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, I'll talk to her, even though I was feeling weird about it. And then this lady ghosted me. And I was
No,
like, God
it's a
literally
sign.
does not want me to talk to a psychic.
Wait, so you were already in
So I was in
Portugal?
Portugal. I was traveling around Europe
Uh-huh.
and I was talking to this psychic that I'd been talking to for many years. And I'll tell you her name when we shut this down. And yeah, don't want to put her on blast. And she was telling me that like this trip I was gonna like meet my love, and like it was a big love, and like she we were like doing sessions like every 3 weeks or something because it was like she was like we got to stay close, like I got to make sure you're prepared, and I was like I was still in that state of not trusting myself, and this was a huge lesson, and my best friend would always she was traveling with me and she would always be like, you're literally like the most intuitive psychic person that I know. Like the fact that you're seeking a psychic is very concerning to me.
Right, right,
She was
right.
like, "You're
That's a
my
good friend.
person." No, and then she ended up talking to this woman and it fucked her up and she's like, "Why did I do that?" And it was just like not a good situation. But so I was like, I don't know, I just don't it's because I didn't trust myself. And I wasn't trusting not even myself. I wasn't trusting like the great unknown of reality,
Mm,
which is just that like life will meet you
mm.
if you just like surrender and allow sometimes. And don't even look for anything. Just have the fucking experience and don't be looking around every other corner like, is my love here? Like, just
Yeah. We need to know everything.
don't need to know
Yeah.
everything. Just relax.
Yeah.
Anyways, I get to Portugal and she tells me that I'm going to meet someone on August 16th and it's going to like blow my mind. And she's like, you're going to want to talk to me on August 16th. And on August 16th, don't you know it? I fucking met this person. And so I'm like, this is it. And immediately I'm treating this guy like he is my soulmate and he knows it. But like he doesn't know that. I'm just some random fucking girl
Right,
that he
right.
just met who, yeah, we have a cool vibe, but like
We're slow your roll.
coming down, coming in a little hot, like coming in real hot. And so Portugal, it's like so much wine flowing all day, every day. Um, the second time that I met him, I'm like so drunk because I'd been drinking all day and all night. I run into him in a park. It's like this magical thing. He's with my friend, and then he's trying to hook up with this other girl, this like model girl who had a boyfriend, by the way. And I'm like devastated. So instead of like hiding it and trying to be cool, I'm so drunk and I just start acting like he's like my boyfriend who's like,
No.
yes, like he's like my boyfriend who's wronging me.
No.
Yes.
Oh no.
And I just started saying some shit. I don't even know. I was so drunk.
Uh-oh.
And then I go to the club and I'm like so wasted. And he's like, you need to go home. Like, I'm so wasted at this club that I'm walking up the stairs and a random guy comes down and just starts making out with me on the stairs. And then I'm just making out with the stranger. Like, it was just chaos. And I woke up the next morning with the biggest pit in my stomach, like the deepest fear. Like, I just ruined my life. I just pushed my soulmate away. And I have this whole fucked up narrative. And I mean, I like literally like never talked to him. Like I sent him a voice note like days later and I was so embarrassed and he was just like, "It's cool. Like you were just really wasted. Don't worry about it." But it wasn't like he was trying to cultivate a relationship with me. This was not my person. This was
Right.
just what I think it was like a past life connection that she was like maybe scanning the field and seeing, but
Mm.
like clearly not someone that like I would be with in this life because even if I was so drunk and being crazy, like if it's like my soulmate, like he wouldn't be chasing a model.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be so angry at me for saying shit about this model.
Right.
Like, and also the fact that I'm so insecure and so reactive to the fact that like you're fucking a model, which is like was my whole LA narrative. It was
Yeah.
almost like every guy that I dated was like, "You're so cool, would love to hook up with you, but I'm actually gonna go date this famous actress instead."
Yeah.
That happened like so many times.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
just like a deep trigger.
Yeah.
And what he did was he showed me how deep my self-worth wound actually was.
Mm.
And maybe the gift of him was just showing me what I still really needed to work on.
Right.
So I came back to LA and I was still like, I thought he was still my person and I fucked it up. And I was like literally cutting myself, not cutting myself
Right.
actually, but like emotionally, like blaming myself like
Yeah.
so much that I had to go into like deep spiritual heart opening work
Yeah.
to open my heart to myself in order to like forgive and release this idea that I'd like ruined my life. Cause it was heavy and it was
Did you have
hard.
a conversation with the psychic after all this?
I text I did. Well, I told her, I was like, "Hey, you probably have noticed that I've pulled back, and it's because I feel like you misled me and you like pushed me into this situation that was like not like if I never talked to you and you never told me that, I'm not saying I would be with this guy because I'm really happy with where I'm at now, but I don't know that I would have acted that way
Right.
because it would have just been a random person that I met. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have had this idea in my head that like he was my guy.
Right.
Anyway, so it just took so much. It actually forced me to do deeper work and took so much longer that when I got back to LA, it was like I went and worked with a healer and realized like how much I was actually holding in my heart and what the block I had was, which was just that I was still living in this place
Mm-hmm.
of I can see this, I can control this, I can make this happen,
Mm.
instead of let me surrender and receive this moment and see what this moment has to offer me
Yeah.
and let this person come to me.
Right.
Even if
I
it didn't
agree.
work out, it would have been such a softer landing.
Right? Then it wouldn't have hurt so bad.
It
Yeah. Yeah.
hurt
Yeah.
so bad
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
nothing even ever happened.
Right. 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 Yeah.
And that was all just me creating my own pain.
Yeah.
Really insane.
It is pretty
So I messaged
crazy.
her. I was like, yeah, I just feel like I need to take a step back and whatever. And she never responded to me, which I was like, bitch, like take some responsibility for the fact that like you're being rogue with your psychic guidance.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like 2 weeks ago, she messaged me and she's like, thinking of you. And I'm like,
That was
Please don't. Please don't. I'm like, I don't want you getting in here and like sabotaging a great situation that I have
How
now.
long were you working with her for?
Years.
Oh, years.
Because she had told me like, so retrograde's only going to last for 5 years and you guys are going to have a falling out. She told me that I was going to have a falling out with the entire wellness world, which I did. Like
So she nailed it.
some things she said were
Right.
true, but I also think that like psychics don't track time really well.
No.
And so
Or even what plane you're in,
what,
I feel like.
right, or what lifetime.
Yeah.
So it's like I do think that with that guy we had a soul lifetime connection for
Hmm.
sure. But like not in this one.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Because if it was in this one, we'd be in each other's lives. And we're
Totally.
just not.
Totally. I've had psychics tell me, like, with an ex when I was in New York, it's like, oh, yeah, you're going to marry this guy, like, you know, basically. And I was like, oh, great, just chilling
Yeah.
until like he broke up with me 2 weeks later when we ended up getting back together. But it was just like he was always looking for something to like to end it. He didn't know how to. He was always questioning whether I was the one because he also was really into like actresses and models and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
which was spoke listen, I attracted this person, I pulled this person in because I had this deep belief that I was completely unaware of here, but here I was like, I'm great, I'm amazing, I'm beautiful, I'm all the things, but didn't feel that here.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just attracting people that validated that belief
Yep.
of like, I am nothing unless I am this, actress or model or whatever. It is. I wasn't even trying to become an actress or model, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that, anyways, we broke up, but he was always looking for ways to end it with me. He was confused and
Mm-hmm.
torn.
Mm-hmm.
But that psychic, I stayed in it for so long and didn't look at myself or look at his behavior because I was like, well, this is the person I'm supposed to be with,
Mm-hmm.
which is not the
According to
case.
somebody else.
No, and maybe we have like a past life thing, but like really our relationship is more father-daughter. I mean, to this day, he's married with kids and like he's still sort of like every now and then will like check in as more of like it's like very fatherly. And
Mm-hmm.
that was our dynamic.
Yeah. You're like, I'm good, Dad.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's like literally that's it.
But I think like it's beautiful that we've had these experiences because now stepping into this new part of our life, it's like you can't be like trusting a psychic when it comes to like
No.
raising your baby. Do you
No.
know like you really have
Or
to,
navigating your partner.
yeah,
It's not fair to the partner
it's not.
too. Yeah.
That's so true. Like you're outsourcing your relationship to somebody who doesn't even like know your relationship. And I
Yeah.
think it's easier too. Like relationships are fucking work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I struggle with realizing sometimes, where like I was just telling you a story where for two
Mm-hmm.
weeks I was basically not telling Tyler that I was annoyed with him
Mm.
because I just didn't want to do the work of confronting it.
Yeah.
And he's like, literally, you know me, like, you know how fast I work through things because we're opposite. Like, he's Gemini, he'll go, like, got it, processed 25 minutes later, and he's like ready to like activate the new reality. I'm like, don't got it, haven't
Yeah.
processed, need so much emotional time.
Yeah.
And it's like a sticky kind of rub that we have. But in doing that work, you realize the connection gets deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard. And I
Sorry.
think we go to other people sometimes because we're like, well, that's so much easier than actually like being confrontational, having a uncomfortable conversation, sitting in a 3 hour conversation where you have to emotionally process. Sometimes I just don't want to fucking do that shit,
Of
but you
course.
have to,
You have to. You have to.
especially when you're raising a family with somebody.
100%. Sometimes the conversation is like, oh, I turn into like a teenager, angsty teenager sometimes, like, "Ugh, is this conversation over yet?"
Me
It's
too.
like,
I'm
come
such a
on.
brat. Oh my God, I bet being in relationships with us is so
It's
annoying.
crazy.
It's like gotta be like such high highs and such low lows.
It's like, I mean, that's why I have a lot of compassion too, because I understand, like, as much as that we get frustrated, it must be frustrating to date me as well, you
Totally.
know?
Yeah, like my work is to not think I'm perfect all the time. And Tyler's like, let's talk about how you're contributing to this dynamic. And I'm like, we don't have to do that. I'm like, I think we're like really good on that part of it. I think
Totally,
I think it's like
totally.
me you issue only.
Yeah, when someone's trying to tell me like in a relationship what I've done wrong, I try to like speed it up. I'm like, okay, get it out faster, faster.
Yeah, like I
It's
get it, I
like,
get it, I
yeah.
get it. Okay, so what do you think? Yeah, like wait, what time is it? Okay, so what do you think? What are your anticipatory feelings about what it's going to be like with your baby.
Oh
Because I
God.
want this on record so that in 6 months we can LOL.
Okay, if I'm gonna be really honest, like
Yeah. Yes. Be fully honest.
okay, birth, I'm really, that's the thing I'm most like nervous
Oh, yeah,
for.
let's talk through it. Maybe I can offer you some like insight.
Well, it's a home birth, right? I've
Best case scenario
Right. Best case
is
scenario
home
is
birth.
home birth.
Yes.
And that's my plan. I mean, clearly, like, I'm afraid something's gonna go wrong and I have to go to the hospital, but I'm actually not, because I don't even entertain that fantasy for some reason. It's not in my fantasies.
Hmm.
It's more so like the actual home birth that's like in
Like how
my,
it has to come out of you.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the fantasy that's like screwing with me. Because I've watched so many home birth videos.
Hmm.
Some people are like that you're doing yourself a disservice, but I think it's also part of myself to like, it's like in my human design when not research and like
What are you?
understand. A manifest generator 5-1.
That's what I am.
Really?
Yeah, the
The
investigator.
investigator. So I have to investigate. It actually helps. It helps my brain in a lot of ways to
Yeah.
like see it. So like, so I know, some women come out, they're like, well, I wish someone had told me it was going to hurt that bad. Like, I'm literally fully prepared to imagine the absolute worst pain imaginable in my entire life. I would rather think that way.
Right. Then, because then if it's not, you'll be like, wow, what a relief.
Yeah. So I'm fully, because I know that though, because I'm gearing up for that,
Hmm.
that's where when I watch these videos, that primalness of these women, it gets something inside of me where I'm like, oh my God. And I
Yeah.
just start sobbing watching these
Yeah.
videos, and
Yeah.
nothing's wrong. Their
Yeah.
body knows what to
Well, it's
do.
beautiful and
It's nature.
insane.
It's totally. And then if I didn't think I was crying enough from watching them, like some of them, they look like they want to die.
Yeah.
They're not
Well, you
saying
are
that.
dying.
Yeah, they are dying, but they're not saying that, right? But it just, the look on their face, it probably they're just going, so they've like completely, gone out of body where they're like in another world
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah.
And it looks like, I mean, it is. It's like the most intense thing from the outside. So then the baby comes out, and then I cry even harder
Yeah.
because of that, like love and the connection. Like, oh my God, she did it. Like, I feel like I was in it.
Yeah. You're like,
You
we
know?
did that, girl.
Yeah, so I'll wake up in the middle of the night just having like these just visceral, like I can't sleep because I'm just picturing what a contraction feels like.
Right.
And like at first, and also the letting it go, like they say with every contraction, you have to let it go. Like it happened to move on. Don't brace for the next one, because then you're going to stay in fight or flight, and that's
Yeah.
when
You have
things
to
can go
relax.
wrong, and you have to relax and rest.
Hmm.
So I I like, that's another thing that scares me, is like having like the most intense painful contraction, and then like we're like, oh my God, it's gonna come again,
It's not going to be like that. Okay. Hold on. I'm offering you a reframe.
Yeah.
Take the word pain
Yeah.
off the table
Right.
because it's not like a pain.
Mm-hmm.
Like pain is when you break your arm.
Right.
Pain is like blunt force trauma.
Right.
Birth is like a psychedelic experience.
Okay.
So you're
I can do
not,
that.
yeah. She's done a few. It's not like pain like you understand in your mind.
Right.
It's like you do the initial contractions are painful, but just because it's so unknown and so strange, but very quickly it transitions from like ow to you're almost just making noise because your body is going through a process of like opening and expansion.
Mm.
So it's not like, stop stabbing me.
Yeah.
It's like you're externalizing sound because of the physical transformation that's happening with your body. So I think anticipating it as pain is also sort of a maybe lingering programming of how we have thought of birth
Right.
and why we are conditioned to be like hospital epidural
Yeah.
what is it induction, like because we think that we can't handle the pain
Right.
of birth, but it's not pain in the way that you think it's pain. It's
Right.
something that your body innately knows how to do, like breathing.
I wonder too, because I have a friend who is like, she's like the one, my midwife goes, she's the one that got away. But she went 8 hours into natural labor in like a birthing center. And
Hmm.
then she was like, I'm over feeling this,
Yeah, it's a mental game.
and called it and went to the epidural. And I think now I'm like, I don't even know who's like, sure, the physical sensation, but that, like you said, because your body's not really contracting, it's opening
It's
and
opening.
expanding. And that opening and expansion is also opening and expanding like your heart, your mind, like so many other parts.
You're changing form. You're
Yeah,
going from a person who's just one person
right,
to being a person who's now multiplied.
right.
And like the person that you are right now today sitting on this chair is not going to be the person that you are in 1 month.
Totally, totally,
It's just
totally.
a
It's just so
wholly
crazy.
different thing that
Yeah,
is just, it's like subtle, but so acute and powerful at the
yeah.
same time.
So I can't decide though if I'm more scared of the physical pain or
Hmm.
the emotional, like the opening of
Yeah.
my heart. That's I'm gonna crack open so hard that it's gonna be like
I would
just
literally just like stare at Asher and like sob.
yeah,
Like the
so
love that
overwhelmed.
I felt was just something I didn't understand before.
Yeah,
But the what you just said is so important though, because birth truly is a mental game.
right.
You just have to fucking stay in it with your mind.
Yeah,
Do not let your mind go to a place where it starts telling you that you can't do this,
right, right,
because your body will follow suit and contract.
right,
You just have to keep, it's like all your medicine journeys have prepared you to like keep going into that place where you're like, I fucking got this. Just one more contraction, like, and you're not going to go, it's not going to go like contraction. And then you're going to be like, I want to keep holding on. The second the contraction stops, you're going to be like,
yeah,
thank God. And then another one will come. But like you will very quickly start to realize that like the rest period is like your best friend.
right, right, right.
And just like put on some like really sweet. Which is so, I made a birth playlist that was like Solange and like
No,
Madonna. Like I thought I was gonna want like upbeat, posy, feminine music, and all I wanted was like chimes and like chanting.
yeah, and honestly, I think chimes and chanting is the way I'm gonna go because even like I can't listen to like medicine journey music. I think it's
Yeah,
gonna take me too down the rabbit hole. I'll get too in my feels.
yeah.
And it's more so I need to stay in like this no like not like words that I can follow along or like a rhythm I can follow along to, but like more so like just beats or
Something that keeps you like really present.
yeah.
And it's really crazy because I remember Olivia was like, do you feel like, that's my friend that was there, like, she's like, isn't this like so wild? Like, how do you feel? And I remember I was like, I just feel like this is a really mundane Wednesday. Like, because even though I was giving birth, I felt like weirdly present.
Oh wow.
Like, it was so
That's
strange.
amazing.
It just didn't feel weird at all.
That's amazing.
So I think a lot of every time I tell people that I gave birth at home, they're like, whoa, like so powerful. I'm like, but you're powerful.
Yeah.
We all have this capacity to do this. It's just what you believe.
What you believe, yeah.
And of course, there are standout complications and
Of
things that happen,
course.
but like
Yeah.
there's that in the hospital too.
Of course.
And
There's
almost more.
yeah.
They create the complications.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
like this idea that you're like safer in that environment isn't necessarily accurate.
Right, right.
And so even to transfer there could turn you.
Yeah,
Like I remember I was 41 and a half weeks and my fluid was leaking and they were like, if it's 5 more days and you haven't given birth, like we legally have to bring you to the hospital.
right.
And I sat on the chair in my house and was just sobbing and like grieving this like perfect idea of this birth that I had. Because for me, the idea of like not getting to have autonomy
Hmm.
was like scarier than anything.
Right.
And like there's only one way out of this.
There's oh yeah, exactly.
Like it has to come out.
Yeah.
And even now with my second, I'm like, it has to come out again. God damn it.
Oh my God.
But like you just do it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just not something that you can, even if you took no hypnobirthing classes or anything, like I think you would still
Yeah. And I
be.
think some women or society in general think like, oh my God, home birth, like you're a masochist, like you're honestly like gonna kill your baby type of thing. But I'd say for people that are even slightly interested or want to understand, like I think the film, The Business of Being Born,
Yeah.
it's an old film from the 90s. Ricky Lake made it.
Yeah.
And honestly like great educational film.
Totally.
Just perfect.
Definitely changed my understanding of
Yeah.
like the birth medical complex.
That's what finally convinced me too, like that this is what I really wanted as my plan. So
It's going to be great.
yeah. So going back to how I'm feeling when I have the baby. So I'm picturing like co-sleeping is like my beginning plan.
Mm-hmm.
We got a night nurse, which is like
Mm-hmm.
actually full-time nurse for a month because we don't have family nearby. And or even family that like knows what to do. And so So yeah, so and my partner's really sensitive to sleep and whatever. So where I'm
I'm so happy
imagining,
I'm with a guy who like doesn't need sleep.
yeah, no, he's like very sensitive. So we
Yeah.
have our we're imagining in our cute little world
Hmm.
that like the baby's in between us and then
Yes.
just like sleeps through the night, and which I didn't even realize my night nurse played me a recording of a baby she was watching, and like they can make like a lot of noise in their sleep, just like all night long, some
Not
babies.
newborns.
Some of them. This
Really?
is a newborn, yeah.
Whoa.
So I guess I think it depends on the baby. But
Yeah.
so I'm just expecting like she's gonna sleep, we're both gonna sleep, we're both gonna love it, whatever. I'm gonna be tired, clearly, like breastfeeding, doing the whole thing. I'm lucky because I have her help. So if something goes wrong, like I can still go and lay down, meaning like if the baby needs to get his diaper changed or whatever, like I don't have to do it because I'm gonna just stay, laying down. So that's where I imagine the sleeping part of it.
Yeah.
And then I just imagine this like, you know, sweet time where, I'm learning and like I'm learning, I have chances to rest, and like it's just like all I can picture is like the dreamy part of like having a newborn.
And there is that, like, you're gonna have all this.
Yeah.
It's
But
all
I
gonna
can't
happen.
because since I don't understand the other side of it, because I haven't also read any like I try to read these parenting books and I just can't. Like there's only one book I really liked. It was Labor Like a Goddess.
Ooh, love that title.
It's the only book I like because it talks about it like it's a medicine journey.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I can actually relate to and understand.
Hmm.
All this other parenting stuff, I think a lot of it's instinctual, and like when you read too much, you get out of your instinct. You stop trusting yourself.
This is why I like didn't read any parenting books because
Yeah.
I'm like, if I start filling my head with information, do you have an open head center in human design?
Yes, the
Yeah,
whole
me too.
thing.
So if I start filling my head, then I will be so lost
Yeah.
with
I'm the
myself.
type of person like someone's playing the piano. I'm like, oh, I need to learn how to play the piano. What?
Or someone tells me a fact and then I go telling everyone like I read it and like I know it
Yeah.
for true.
Same.
Like,
Same.
I'm
I
like,
got nothing up
no,
here.
nothing. I'm like the prime target for conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
I'm like, have you heard? And people are like, that's crazy. And like, I mean, I don't know if it's true, but people are saying it.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. So yeah, so I guess I just don't understand like
Also, methods are just someone created it.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
like the
made it up.
greatest, like even like Freud, it's
Yeah.
just like a dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you just have to be careful like what you follow as gospel, especially when it comes to parenting, because like everyone is just needs to do what is right for them and their family.
Yeah.
And if you have questions, like if your latch isn't right or whatever, then like yes, seek a lactation consultant, but
Right.
don't do it before you need it because then you're gonna get in your head that you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. And the things I don't think about until like friends tell me about like the boob situation, for example. Like if you're breastfeeding, like the ducts getting clogged and the pain and the if they do get clogged and like the amount of care you have to put into your boobs, I didn't even think about that.
Me either. And
And then
that
I
was
was
my
like,
biggest shock.
oh, what? Like things like that. So I'm not thinking about those things. So I think I'm in for a bit of an awakening when
You know, they
all
say
of,
Sex in the City is the fifth lady.
oh
The
yeah.
boobs are the third party. The boobs are,
That makes sense.
yeah,
So like things like that where I'm totally, but part of me almost like would rather just go into it blindly
yeah.
and learn as I go
I love that.
than having this rigid expectation of like what's supposed to happen, because maybe that's kind of, messing me up with preparing for birth, is
Hmm.
having these like expectations of like I'm gonna
Getting
be the
ahead.
worst pain of my life.
Yeah, you're getting ahead of yourself.
Yeah. So that's what I think. But I definitely don't think I understand like how challenging it is.
Hmm.
But then sometimes I question, I was like, is it a mindset? Is it not? I don't know?
I mean, it's both.
Yeah.
I think what you said earlier about just like, even though you said the word pain, and I kind of tried to edit that, but I think in general in life, like we ex we create difficulty when we expect things to be easy.
Yeah.
And if we don't expect things to be easy and we accept that there's challenges, then
Mhm.
when the challenge comes, we're happy to meet it because we knew that it would be like that.
My midwife said that to me. She's like, I'm almost actually, I think I like it that you're more anxious. I'd rather you have some anxiety than not at all, because this is
Yeah.
one of the biggest things you're ever gonna do. And people that just go into it like blasé, like, yeah, whatever, they're the ones that are in extreme shock.
Yeah. But then when you hit those moments of ease and those moments of grace, you're like, oh yeah, like,
Yeah.
and then you're celebrating them so much more because you didn't expect it to be like that.
Right.
And it is a mix of both.
Right.
I think that I'm just excited to hear what it really is like from more of the emotional point of view.
Yeah.
Not like I there's no doubt in my mind that like you can physically and mentally handle everything that's coming for you.
Hmm.
It's just like the drop in of the transformation and depth of love is going to be something that I just like can't wait to hear you
Totally. I
talk
don't
about.
think I can wrap my head around it because I
You
already
can't.
start to feel like I'll cry just looking at Ben sometimes because I'm like overwhelmed with the amount of love I have for him all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But like I can't, I mean, it just doesn't even touch upon, I think, what's about to happen. And that might be the thing that I'm actually waking up in the middle of the night too. It's not
Hmm.
the physical part of it. It could just be like representative of
Like the emotional
something way
reality.
deeper. Yeah.
It's shifting
Yeah.
and there's no going back.
No going.
I remember on Christmas before Asher was born, I was like sobbing because I was like, this is our last, first of all, it was our first Christmas. It was our first and our last Christmas without a baby. But it was just like, yeah, like what you're saying, it hit me so hard
Yeah.
that it will never again just be
Yeah.
that we're these two people.
Hmm.
And like, I feel like moments in life just become so much more precious and you want to like capture them and hold them like more and more and more as you move into this new direction. And then when the baby comes, it's like I took 1,000 pictures and I don't remember a damn thing. Like literally I look back at pictures of when Asher was a newborn and I'm like, I don't remember.
Because yeah, I feel like though they design it that way, like
So you'll
God, the
do it
universe
again.
design so you get amnesia.
Yeah, you get amnesia so that you're like in 16 months, you're like, it'll be a good idea to get
Yeah,
pregnant again.
for sure.
Even though like in that time I do remember being like,
Never again. Yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
Just because it's like it's just so intense.
Hmm.
But then you just move through it,
Yeah.
and then you're on to the next thing and then you're just a mom and that's just who you are.
Yeah.
And I think that's the integration of the identities of that will be our next conversation, like because I'm in that now of like integrating the identity of who I was before a mom, which is still a big part of who I am now,
Hmm.
but who I am as a mom is like a bigger part of who I am now.
Right.
Like bringing these two versions of myself together into like a whole picture is something that I'm just currently kind of examining and sitting with as I do this again because it's in a weird way like mom of one almost felt like not really mom until now I'm like mom of two, that's really mom. That's like you're a fucking mom, bitch. Like,
It's
right now I
true.
just have my cute little accessory, but
Yeah.
like two is
Two
like
is serious.
that's
Yeah. Yeah.
real
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And so I'm just thinking about like, okay, like what does that really mean? And what does that look like? And how do I move through the world with this like whole new framework?
I
I
can't
think
wait to see you as a mom of two. It's gonna be
it's
amazing.
gonna be chaotic. I'm also such like a low maintenance, like chaos mom where like,
Yeah, but I like it that way. Like it's almost like you're not doing too much unnecessary shit, you know?
no, there's no like extra.
No.
It's just we have the basics
But
and that's what
we've
we
gone
need.
too far from the basics,
Yeah,
you know?
for
I
sure.
went to a baby store yesterday. I'm like, how many things
Oh
do
yeah, I
you
saw
need
that.
for this
You
baby?
don't need a lot of
It was
things.
crazy the amount of
What did
things.
you end up getting?
I got a stroller because we needed a stroller and a car seat, but there's things like there's a bottle washer, sterilizer, dryer. And I'm
Yeah,
like, why can't I? And I kept saying this in the store. I was like, I don't understand. Why can't I put the bottle in the
that's what
dishwasher
I did.
or wash it and then just dry it? And then like the people in the store were like looking at me like, are you crazy? Like that's not what you do.
Yeah,
And I was like, well, I'm just gonna go with it. I don't want this thing. And then
yeah,
it ends up my mom buys me a sterilizer. She sends me a screenshot. She was so horrified that I wouldn't have a sterilizer. Like, did you have a sterilizer?
yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure like I made it out okay. And I slept with apple juice in my bottle. I mean, I had every one of my teeth had cavities
They
and a
did.
crib full of stuffed animals. Like I had
Yeah.
1 zillion stuffed animals. It's amazing. I'm still breathing. Ben slept in a drawer with like a
Stop.
furry. So like what happened?
Yeah.
Now we're like this like hypersensitive, scared society where we need so many bells and whistles and toys and tools and
Well, it's
it's
just
too
like it's
much.
furthering the conversation of separating us from our instinct and
Yeah,
our connection, where
totally.
it's like we can't just have we can have our baby in our bed. People would be like, "You just put your baby to nap in your bed?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I just wrapped a towel and he like cuddled it." Oh,
Yeah.
that's a really good trick. I'll show you. It's
Yeah.
amazing. When they
Show
want
that
to
to me.
nap alone, you like put a towel in their arms so they feel like they're not alone and they're like cozy in this little towel.
Oh,
It's just
that's
it's like a
cute.
little circle.
Oh, wow.
It's like so cute, but he doesn't need a fucking thing that keeps him bouncing all night long
Yeah,
and
my
like
mom was like really wanting to
these
get
like
me like
techie
a
things.
vibrating chair. I said, "No, I don't want that. I
Not to
don't
mention
want
your
that."
baby's like on Bluetooth all day
Yeah,
long.
no. There was even car seats with Bluetooth
No, dude.
that signal you if they're unbuckling out of their car seat. I'm like, "I'm okay. I
I
don't
have
want that."
eyes
Yeah.
and there's a mirror.
Yeah.
Like it is. It's like we've gotten so disconnected. And I think there's just going to be, I mean, we're in that space right now, right? Where there's like the tech AI people that are like gonna be live in that world, and then there's like the people that are like homesteading, and
Totally.
there's like these extremes, like factions of society that are splitting.
100%.
I kind of want to like live somewhere in the middle,
I want to be in the middle.
you
I
know,
want
where
to
I'm
be in the
like
middle.
ChatGPT can write outlines for me, but like I'm gonna write the article,
Yeah.
and like maybe one day I'll have a goat, I don't know,
Yeah.
but just but like in adjacent to a city.
It's like I might not washcloth diapers, but I'm into trying out that e- diaper eating fungi that you put in the
Oh
diaper and it
yeah,
like eats it.
hero.
Yeah.
I'll give you my code.
Yeah. Have you tried it?
Yeah,
And you like it?
I love it. They're
Oh,
great. They're so soft.
okay.
They're so
I
nice.
wasn't sure because like he was like it's like join now and then I was like, is this a subscription? Is it coming? You can't buy it by the pack to try it. So
Oh, you
if you
can't?
like it, no, you have to subscribe.
Hmm.
So
I mean, it might be worth it.
yeah, I'll
I
try.
mean, or you can subscribe to like Coterie, but or Diaper, the ones that are like the
Well, I just bought
cotton.
packs. I don't know about subscriptions. That's another thing. I'm like, oh, how many diapers do I possibly need?
A lot. So many.
That's another thing. Like things like that I think I'm gonna be really shocked by.
I was like, I'm in a cloth diaper. And Tyler was like, no, you're not, because I'll be doing all the laundry and we're
Yeah.
just not doing that.
No, you see one of the founders of Hero, she has a video on the Hero thing where she's washing the diapers in the bath with a bandana on because she's
Ew.
gagging from the
Yeah.
smell. And she was like, I can't do this.
No, even my most eco friend was like, I can't. It's
Yeah.
so foul.
Yeah. It's too much.
It's a lot. Baby's shit smells surprisingly foul. I
Terrible.
know. You don't think it.
I smell it when I go to friends' house.
Wait, I'm gonna tell you this last anecdote that will wrap up. But like my friend told me that she like shared a night nurse with Alanis Morissette,
Oh, wow.
and that Alanis Morissette, I hope she sees this, that Alanis Morissette didn't diaper her babies and she wrapped them in Barefoot Dreams blankets, like only.
So they would just poop
So they were
on.
just like pooping. I don't know like how that really looked. But when I first had Asher, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna diaper him and I'm gonna wrap him in these swaddles. And
No,
that's
you
like,
didn't.
so I like didn't diaper him in the beginning, and then he was pooping the like sticky meconium
Girl.
because their first poops are like tar
Tar, yeah.
and it doesn't come out. So I ruined like 5 swaddles, like trying to not put diapers on him until finally I was like, I guess I'm not honest.
Yeah.
I don't understand like how that
Like,
worked.
why? Is it supposed to make potty training easier? I don't understand.
I never got the like explanation of
Yeah, no.
why, but quickly I was like, diapers are essential.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this was so fun.
This is so fun. Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you so much for coming all the way out here and
Yeah.
waiting an
Can't
extra
wait to come
hour.
back on the other side.
I'm so excited to have Mommy Vanessa on the
Yeah.
show.
Too wild.
And then we'll just say, we'll say where people can find you.
Oh, you find me at Bees Honey or beeshoney.com, Veeshoney.
And then I'll do an intro for you when I re-record the intro.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Is everyone literally across the street?